internet went bizarre on February 2nd over a fitness routine video, which was accidentally filmed in Myanmar while a military coup was in progress as a backdrop. Myanmar is presently being governed by military commander-in-chief Min Aung Hlaing after overthrowing the democratic leader Aung San Suu Kyi. An year-long of emergency has been declared in the South Asian country, and it's almost impossible to bottle back citizens who have got the taste of democracy after being put through 50 years of military rule. They are on the streets protesting. So what is happening in Myanmar and why? Precisely, it's a clash between the military known as Tatmadaw and a pro-democratic party NLD led by Aung San Suu Kyi. After 50 years of military rule, Suu Kyi emerged as an opposition and was put to 15 years of detention between 1989 to 2010. Her efforts to challenge the military rule won her a Nobel Peace Prize in 1991. She has mentioned in the past about her being inspired by Mahatma Gandhi's writings for her pro-democratic stand and also referred them as phenomenal. In 2015, Myanmar held its first openly contested elections in which National League for Democracy or NLD swept away the opposition and won by a landslide. Recently, in November, Suu Kyi won again. Then why the coup now? Well, the military has challenged the fairness of this parliamentary elections and called it rigged. Though many from the conflict areas couldn't contest their vote, but still, the popularity of Suu Kyi has got her a win with more than 80% of the votes. Now the question arises, how powerful is military in Myanmar? Myanmar is home to over 130 ethnicities, and that's a lot of diversity. Post-independence, the unexpected freedom to Burmese increased religion conflicts and military intervened under the claim to save the country from disintegration. In 2008, the military reserved 25% of parliamentary seats for themselves under the new constitution. They controlled defense, internal ministries, as well as economic sector. In short, military was a government within government, or maybe even superior than the government at times. Suu Kyi's powers were limited. There's no doubt about that. A clause added in the constitution said that none of the family members of the president could be of a different nationality. Suu Kyi's husband and children are British, which barred her from the parliamentary presidential run. To counter this, she passed a state councillor bill in spite of heavy opposition by the military MPs. The military was looking for the slightest chance to overthrow the government, and that's what they eventually did. The fear of losing explicit powers to pro-democratic party by change in constitution is something Tatmadaw doesn't want to happen. The question arises, which side do the people of Myanmar stand? Certain religious nationalist groups in the country are pro-Tatmadaw, that is pro-military, and look up to them as defenders of Buddhism. The decisions are taken keeping their religious sentiments in consideration. But then we cannot deny the fact that Aung San Suu Kyi is really popular amidst her people. Though she has stained her iconic image by not speaking up against the military atrocities on Rohingya Muslims,
genocidal intent cannot be the only hypothesis.
The people of Myanmar voted and chose NLD. Like I said before, the taste of democracy has been felt and it is difficult to bottle it back. They are dissenting. They are out on the roads, increasing in numbers each day, expanding throughout the country. They are showing something which is being referred to as civil disobedience by honking horns, banging plates, and giving a three-finger salute, and are by far in largest numbers since the Saffron Revolution in 2007. The protesters include activists, students, teachers, artists, human rights defenders, and journalists too. Curfews have been announced, along with the use of water cannons and rubber bullets, More than 2,600 protesters have been arrested and 250 killed since February 1st, according to a local monitoring group called Assistant Association for Political Prisoners. And just like any other authoritarian government, Myanmar too has occasionally shut down internet for its citizens. As of now, Suu Kyi, along with many others NLD members, along with pro-democratic activists, are under detention. Now the question arises, how does all of this impact India? With Myanmar sharing 510 kilometers long border with northeastern state of Mizoram, India faces a situation of migrant influx as political prosecution heightens during unrest in Myanmar. Though the situation wouldn't be something new, people have been crossing over the porous border between the two countries over and over again since decades, and presently it only seems to be rising. Though the Mizo authorities expect the central government to keep a humanitarian approach towards this border situation, towards this issue, the center has ordered a strict vigil and deportation to all who are entering India illegally to flee the coup. Meanwhile, there has been a sit-in demonstration in Aizawl, that is the capital of Mizoram, to register solidarity with Myanmar. We'll keep simplifying complicated stuffs for you and bring in the simpler version in Time 8 Capital, Make It Simple.